and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we will be reviewing AEW Dynamite for November 18th, 2020. Now overall, this was a good show. We really much didn't have anything that really much didn't happen on the show, but this was a good show. We had Top Flight versus the YoungBucks, which was a great match, great tag team match. We had the Inner Circle slaying Las Vegas, Sin City. That was really entertaining and funny. We had the contract signing between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. We had Orange Cassidy versus Kip Sabian. We had the Blade versus Pac. So this is Pac's first match back against the Blade. That was really good. We had the NWA Women's Championship match, which is a great match too. And we had Team Taz versus Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes in the main event. And with the main event, I didn't agree with the outcome, of how the match ended. I didn't agree with it, but I did like the ending of the show. And the contract signing too. That's another thing I didn't like. The contract signing between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. I expected so much more from it. The thing is though, I wanted them to be face to face, but Jon Moxley, he didn't show up. He was attacked. So, but other than that, it was still a good show. So first off, we started off the show with the tag team match. It was Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin versus the YoungBucks, the AEW Tag Team Championships. So first off, we had a super kick attempt from, I believe it was Matt Jackson, to one of the Top Flight guys, and he missed. We had an enziguri to Nick Jackson from Darius Martin. And we had at one point the Top Flight guys, they were double teaming Matt Jackson by giving him stereo kicks. And then we had a drop kick. We had a drop kick from Matt Jackson. A drop kick to Matt Jackson from Top Flight, from one of the Top Flight guys. And then we had an assisted knee. We had an assisted knee to knock Nick Jackson off the apron. And then Nick, he recovers, he gets a blind tag, and he gives Darius the super kick. And then we had a bulldog, the bulldog that Nick Jackson usually goes for, to Dante. And so it was a combination move. It was a bulldog, followed up by a drop kick from Matt Jackson. And then we had a sharpshooter attempt. Not a sharpshooter attempt, he locked in the sharpshooter to Dante. And Darius breaks up the sharpshooter submission move. And then we had a double foot stomp to Dante from Nick Jackson, follow up by a backstabber to Darius. And we had a Meltzer driver. We had a Meltzer driver attempt, and he missed. The YoungBucks missed. Well, they didn't. Yeah, they missed. And so they stopped it from happening. They stopped the Meltzer driver from happening. And then we had a standing Spanish fly on one of the Bucks. And we had a tope suicida from Darius to the Bucks, followed up by a tope con hero to the Bucks from Dante. And we had a middle rope hurricane rana to Matt Jackson. Jackson kicks out at 2. And then we had a spear to Dante. And then we had an assisted sliced bread into a power bomb from the Bucks to Dante. And Darius breaks up the pin. And we had a crucifix. We had a crucifix to Matt Jackson. Damn near fall. That was close. He almost had him right there. And we had a BTE trigger. We had a BTE trigger to Dante for the win. The Bucks wins the match. And after the match, TH2, the Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Helico, they attacked Top Flight. And the Bucks, they chased off TH2. So yeah, this was a great match. I love this match. This is a great match to open up the show. And these guys, the Top Flight guys, they were young. They said that on commentary that they were 19. One of them was 19 and the other one was 21. So yeah, these guys are really young, but they have been on Dark. I don't watch Dark that much, but this is actually my first time seeing them. And so last night, man, they did a great job. They did a great job. They delivered. They passed the test with flying colors. They kept up with the Bucks. They took it to the Bucks. They are good. They are athletic. And the Bucks, man, they put them over. They put them over, man. They made these guys look good. And even though they lost, even though Top Flight lost, they still look good in the end, in defeat. So that was a great match. I loved it. And next we had the Inner Circle. We had the Inner Circle invading Vegas, or slaying Vegas. And we had the Inner Circle. I loved the Inner Circle in their casino, the slaying in Las Vegas. I loved it. So we had the Inner Circle showing up at a casino, and we had Santana. So yeah, they show up at the casino. They go inside of the casino. They're playing cards. Santana, MJF, and Sammy Guevara. They're playing cards. And Sammy, he had two. I don't know nothing about cards, but he had blackjack. He had a blackjack, and he sees it. Like he sees it. He puts his card down where everybody can see it. And so he goes off on the side and whispers to Chris Jericho. He was like, "Chris, I got a blackjack. I have a blackjack." And while he's talking to Jericho, MJF, he switches the cards. He switches his cards with Sammy's cards. So I think MJF, he had like hearts or something like that, 2 hearts. And Sammy, he switched it. MJF, he switched the cards behind Sammy back. And then we had, he puts down the card. MJF puts down the card. He wins. And then like MJF, he was saying, "Oh, I have blackjack." And then Sammy, he goes, "Oh, really? I have blackjack too." And he put down the cards that wasn't his cards. And Sammy, he goes, "Ortiz, these are not my cards. These are not my cards." Like, what happened? These are not my cards. And then MJF, he tells Sammy, "That's not blackjack, buddy." And so he making fun of him. And then we had Wardlow. We had Wardlow and Jake Hager staring at each other the entire time. And we had Chris Jericho and MJF. They're at the bar. They're upstaging each other on drinks. And like cards. I don't know nothing about drinks because I don't drink. But they were upstaging each other's on drinks. The least dangerous to the most dangerous. So they end up drinking 100. They end up drinking the drink called 100 proof grain alcohol Everclear. They did. They ain't drink that. And so they drunk it. They drunk the Everclear, and then they both, like right after they drunk it, they both winced in pain, yelling "son of a bitch." And MJF and Jericho, they walk out. They walking out of the casino. They drunk. And then we had Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful. They asked the Inner Circle, "Are y'all ready to take this to the next level?" And they said, and then the Inner Circle, they were like, "Hell yeah, we are." And they said, we have just the right guy. And then Conan shows up. And it says, "I always got the best stuff, and I know exactly what you need." And so they show up in a limousine. They go into the limousine, and they got out of the limousine, and they were high. The limousine was smoking. And they got out, they were all high. And Conan, he tells Jericho, "Hey Chris, I see a dragon. I think I can see a dragon." And Jericho, he says to him, "Conan, there's no such thing as dragons." And Conan, he was like, "Oh yeah? And what's that over there?" And they looked over, it was a man dressed as a dragon. And so Jericho and everybody else, they thought that it was a real dragon, but it was actually a guy dressed up as a dragon with a dog in his hand. And so they were all drunk. The Inner Circle were drunk. They were partying. They were drunk. They were partying with this one guy that had his shirt off. And we had Wardlow and Jake Hager beating up random guys. They were staring at each other at first, and then they were beating up people, like upstaging who they can beat up. And so they were beating up people left and right. And we had Elvis Presley. showing up with the Inner Circle. He was partying with the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle, yeah, they were walking with Elvis Presley while they were drunk. So they were leaving the casino. They were going with them. Elvis Presley was going with the Inner Circle. And so, yeah, that was the end of part 1. They said to be continued. I was like, man, there's more to this? Like, yeah. So, yeah, that was the end of it. That was the end of the part 1. And so part 2 would be coming on later. So, yeah, right after this, right after this, we had a video package of the history of Revolution. And they were talking about AEW. They were talking about AEW growth as a whole after 1 year. And we had the wrestlers talking about their upbringings and how they are, how they're different. How they're different from everybody else. Their characters. And how the naysayers said that they were never going to make it. And how the company will never be successful. And stuff like that. And the line of the night on that commercial was, if you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody believe in you? And that's what Miro said. And that is true. If you don't believe in yourself, who in the hell would believe in you? So AEW, man, even though they had all the naysayers saying that they'll never succeed, they proved each and every single person wrong. And they believed in themselves. And they proved everybody wrong. And now when AEW first started, when it was first announced, you had people saying that, oh, it's a t-shirt company. Oh. Where are those people now? Where are those people now? What? Where are you now? Where are you? All the people that said it was a t-shirt company, where are y'all? Where are y'all? Oh, what's that? What's that? You can't talk? You can't talk? There's nothing you can say? AEW has proven everybody wrong. Everybody wrong. Everybody that's ever doubted them, they have proved them wrong. And you know why they did it? They believed in themselves. They believed in themselves. And everybody followed along. So yeah, that was the end of the video package. It was a great video package. I loved it. And then right after this, we had Jon Moxley. He was commenting. He was commenting on Kenny Omega. Talking about Kenny Omega. So he says, Jon Moxley does, he says, this is a crazy ass ride I've been on for 16 years. Finally, the whole world makes sense to me. How did I get here? He was asking himself, how did I get here? How have I been AEW world champion for so long? The answer is my dad. 6'3", 250 pounds, box your ear if you got out of line. One day he's in town. He picks me up from the police station. He looks at me and says, son, we're the good guys. No matter what happens, no matter what's going on around you, just remember, we are the good guys. They've tried to lie, cheat, and steal this championship away from me. I've been jumped, beat up. I fought monsters, technicians, my own friends, but I always know what to do. We're the good guys. Now the whole world is bearing down on me. My body feels like hell. I can't even get out of bed in the morning. I have a pregnant wife at home. Congratulations, Renee Young and Jon Moxley. I'm holding 2 titles on 2 different continents. I got challengers come from every which way. What do? I know what to do. We're the good guys. Tonight, I'm going to walk into the ring, sign that contract without any hesitation. I'm going to look Kenny Omega's eye. I'm going to look into Kenny Omega's eye. I'm going to shake his hand and let him know in no uncertain terms, I'm the best wrestler in the world. I am the AEW World Champion. I am my dad's son. And I am Jon Moxley. And that is never going to change. So yeah, this is a great promo. Always a great promo from Jon Moxley, man. And congratulations once again. Congratulations to Jon Moxley and Renee Young. They're having a baby. So congrats to these two. And yeah, man, this is the best Jon Moxley has ever looked, man. Ever since he left WWE, man, this guy has looked better in AEW. Man, Man, Jon Moxley, I could tell, man. I could tell this guy loves it. He loves what he do. This guy is undefeated as a world champion. This guy, they built him up perfectly. This guy is the best. I love him. So yeah, right after this, we had Orange Cassidy versus Kip Sabian. Orange Cassidy with the best friends versus Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford, and Miro is on commentary. So there really wasn't much to this match, but it was a good match. It was an okay match. But yeah, we start off this match with a light slap. We had a light slap to Kip Sabian, and we had Orange Cassidy putting his hands in his pockets like he always does, and Kip Sabian he blocks it and turns it into a headlock, and Orange he counters with a headlock. Then we had a drop toe hold attempt to Orange Cassidy from Kip Sabian, and Orange Cassidy he puts his hands in his pockets to get out of the drop toe hold. And we had a drop kick to Kip Sabian while his hands was in his pocket. So he drop kicking Kip Sabian while Orange Cassidy had his hands in his pockets. And we had a back body drop to Kip Sabian over the top rope. And we had a tope suicida to Kip Sabian. We had a gut buster to Orange Cassidy. He kicks out at 2. A diving crossbody to Kip Sabian. Swinging DDT to Sabian. Kicks out at 2. We had a diving DDT to Kip Sabian. Sabian kicks out at 2. And at one point, Kip Sabian, he slips up on a rope. So there's a botch. He slips up. And he falls. He falls, and they were trading suplexes. And Sabian got the better of it. And he delivers a brainbuster to Orange Cassidy. And we had a knee to face. We had a knee to the face from Kip Sabian. And Cassidy, he counters with a mousetrap. His mousetrap cradle to Kip Sabian. And he wins. And right after the match, Miro, who was on commentary, he attacks Orange Cassidy. So Miro, man, when he got into that ring, he didn't go through the ropes. He jumped. He jumped over the top rope to get in the ring to attack Cassidy. So yeah, that was cool. Miro is athletic for his size. They call him the super athlete. But yeah, they attack Kip Sabian. Not Kip Sabian. They attack Orange Cassidy. Kip Sabian joins, and then the best friends come out. They chased off Miro and Kip Sabian. So yeah, that was the end of it. I don't know what they're doing with Miro. He's the best man. The best man for Kip Sabian's wedding. My question is, when is the wedding? When is the wedding? I don't know when is the wedding. And plus, you have him in a tag team. So they have him in a tag team. I don't know what they're doing with him. This dude should be chasing after the TNT Championship or the AEW World Championship, not in some tag team. So I guess they're gonna hold off on him. They're gonna wait because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but they need to do. Miro, man, he deserves better. He needs to go after the TNT Championship or the AEW World Championship. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. But right after this, we had the contract signing. We had the contract signing between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. And I was disappointed at this. I was disappointed at this segment. I expected so much more from this, but we didn't get anything. So apparently it was supposed to be a face-to-face, and we didn't get that. But yeah, this is what happened. We had Kenny Omega coming out to the ring. Long introduction again from the ring announcer. So yeah, we had a long introduction from Justin Roberts. Heel move from Kenny Omega. And Kenny, he comes out. Kenny comes out with a suit. He comes out with a suit on and with his shades on, his signature shades, sunshades. And looking real nice in the suit, Kenny Omega. So he goes out to the ring, sits in his chair, in the contract signing booth. And we had Jon Moxley. Yeah, Tony Schiavone, he was introducing both of them. He introduced Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega came out, and then he introduced Jon Moxley. Moxley music played, but he didn't come out. So they stopped his music. And then they showed the cameras in the back. The cameras were going, they showed the cameras rolling in the back. and it showed Jon Moxley being attacked. He was already attacked, and so he was laying down on his back with a bloody nose. Officials and doctors, they were at Jon Moxley's aid, and they had to get him out of there. They had to take him out of the building. And then Tony Schiavone, he asked Kenny Omega about his thoughts on what happened to Jon Moxley. And Kenny Omega, he wasn't concerned at all. He was not concerned at all. He thought that Moxley was trying to avoid him, because that first match that they were supposed to have, Moxley, he had an elbow injury, right? Or he had surgery or something like that. And that was at All Out, I believe it was. All Out, what, last year? Where he was supposed to face Omega, but he had to sit out for surgery. So yeah, he says first it was Moxley's elbow, and now it looks like it's a bloody nose. And he says, "You're not avoiding me this time, John. December 2nd, winter is coming." I think that's the tagline for Dynamite's episode. Winter is coming. So December 2nd, winter is coming. I'll be there. Make sure you capture this. And then Kenny, he signs the contract. He tries to sign the contract. The pin doesn't work. And so he fixes the pin. I think something was wrong with the pin. So he fixed the pin and he signed the contract, and that was it. And man, I was disappointed at this. I was disappointed at this segment. I was expecting a face-to-face back and forth on a microphone type stuff like he did with Eddie Kingston. What Jon Moxley did with Eddie Kingston. I thought it was going to be something like that, but we didn't get that. So yeah, that was the end of it. And then right after this, we had the part 2. We had part 2 of the Inner Circle, slaying Las Vegas. So right after this, we had the Inner Circle. We had the Inner Circle on top of a roof of a building. Drunk. And they added Elvis Presley. They added Elvis Presley to the Inner Circle. And MJF, while drunk. Yeah, everybody was messed up. They had their clothes everywhere. MJF, he had his scarf wrapped around his head. And MJF, he was trying to say something. And he stumbles off. He stumbles off like he almost falls. And Wardlow, he helps him up. And MJF, he says, I need to get something off my chest. I always considered myself to be a lone wolf. And live on Dynamite, I told the world that I wanted to find a wolf pack. I love you guys like blood brothers. Talking about the Inner Circle. I love you guys like blood brothers. And so Sammy Guevara, he grabs a knife. He grabs a knife and try to cut himself. Try to get blood from himself. Trying to draw blood from himself by cutting himself. And so the Inner Circle, they stopped him like, no, whoa, stop. Because get it? Because of blood brothers, get it? And so the Inner Circle, they stopped him. And Elvis even talked sense to Sammy Guevara. And so right after this, we said MJF. Yeah, MJF, he says, it's a full moon. He says, we're the Inner Circle. It's a full moon. And you know what I want to do right now? And they all together, he mentioned something about a wolf pack. The Inner Circle all together, they howled like a pack of wolves. And that ended off that night. And so the next morning they woke up. The Inner Circle is hungover. We had Jericho waking up next to Elvis Presley in a bed. What? They had their clothes on. Thank God. Because I did not want to see no grown men naked. I did not want to see that. So yeah, they both get out of bed. Jericho, he had a drink in his hand that he disliked, and he drops it. He drops it on the ground. And then we had MJF. MJF, he wakes up in a bathtub. And he gets up. He goes to the front. He sees Sammy in the fountain. Sammy was sleeping in the fountain. And so MJF, he tells Sammy that he looks stupid. He looks pretty stupid. And Sammy, he was like, oh yeah? Well, at least I'm not soft. And they showed MJF's face. And he had writings all over his face. It was saying Sammy was here. And he saw soft, the word soft all over his face. And Sammy, he gets up. Sammy gets up out of the fountain. And he looks around. He looks at himself. He looks at his hands. He looks at his hand. He has a wedding ring on his finger. And Sammy, he says, wait, I'm married. I'm married to 3 wives. And they showed a picture of 3 women that he was married to. And then, yeah, they were walking around the place. We had chicken. We had chicken and roosters there. Santana was playing with them, I guess. And we had Ortiz working out. Lifting some weights. Saying that he's the best. And then we had Jericho and Elvis and Santana. They were walking together. And they heard a baby cry. And they walked towards the area where they heard the baby crying. And so they opened the door. And it was Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle dressed as the baby, crying. And Santana, he goes, no, it's not mine. It's not my baby. And what I got from this was Hangover. The vibe from that, the Hangover vibes. This came from the Hangover, the movie. So that was in. That was the end of it. It was funny. You could say it was cheesy. It was kind of cheesy, but it was still funny at the end. So yeah, that was the end of the Las Vegas, the Inner Circle, slaying Las Vegas, and that was the end of it. And right after this, we had the Blade with the Butcher and the Bunny versus Pac, the Bastard. And we had Eddie Kingston on commentary. More Eddie Kingston on commentary, please, man. So we had, to start off the match, Pac, he wasted little time. He went for a corner drop kick to the Blade, knocked him in the corner. And then we had Pac stomping onto the Blade. And then Pac, he throws the Blade into the guardrail. And then we had a missile drop kick to the Blade. He throws him back to the ring, gives the Blade a missile drop kick. And then at one point, Pac, he turns his attention to the Butcher. A dumb move. And so yeah, Pac, he goes out of the ring and gets in the Butcher face. And the Blade, he just comes out of nowhere and just delivers a sliding kick to Pac on the side. And we had Blade, just like Pac did, threw him into the guardrail. We had the Blade throwing Pac into the guardrail. And then we had a gourd buster on a rope to Pac. And we had a slingshot. We had a slingshot DDT to the Blade. Pac, he almost botched this move. It looked like he was going for a slingshot cutter, but he turned it into a slingshot DDT and he almost slipped up on it. And we had the Bunny. She snatches Pac's leg. And Pac, he tries to go after the Bunny. And the Butcher stopped him, attacked him from behind, right behind the referee's back. Then we had a gut wrench powerbomb to Pac. Kicks out at 2. And we had a super kick to the Blade. And the Blade counters it with a power slam. And Pac kicks out at 2. That was a beautiful power slam. And we had a superplex. A superplex to the Blade. Beautiful superplex. And the Blade kicks out at 2. And we had a Black Arrow attempt. So Pac, he tries to go for the Black Arrow. And the Bunny gets on the apron. So Eddie Kingston on commentary, he yelling, hey. Do something, hey. And the Bunny, she gets on the apron. And, she distracts the referee. The Butcher comes in the ring, trying to attack Pac. And Pac, he delivers a super kick to the Butcher. And we had the Blade. Try to roll up Pac. Gives a roll up to Pac. And he grabs the tights. So he almost had Pac. So Pac kicks out. And then we had a shooting star. Pac, we thought he was going for the Black Arrow. But he went for the shooting star press. Onto the Blade's back. And he turns it into his brutalizer submission move. And the Blade taps out. Pac wins. And right after the match, we had Pac. He grabs the microphone. He speaks to Eddie Kingston, yelling at Eddie Kingston. And the Butcher attacks Pac from behind. The Blade joined in on attack. And we had Eddie Kingston. Come into the ring with the microphone talking trash to Pac. And out of nowhere, we had Phoenix. Phoenix comes out and he saves Pac. He defends Pac. He tries to help him. And while this was happening, while Phoenix was protecting Pac, we was asking, where's Pentagon? And lo and behold, Pentagon, he comes out with a chair. And he goes into the ring. And Eddie Kingston and the rest of the family, they want him to attack Phoenix. Attack Phoenix with a chair. So we were trying to see where his loyalty lied. Where his loyalty lied. Where was he on his brother's side or was he with Eddie Kingston? And he swings the chair. He swings the chair at Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston got out the way, and the Butcher, the Blade, and the rest of the family, they got out of there. And Pentagon, he's with his brother and Pac, so the Death Triangle is back. And so yeah, Pentagon, he helps up Pac and Phoenix, and they raise each other's hands. So the Death Triangle is back. Love it. I love this match. This is a great match. Great match between these two. And Pac, my God, how long this guy been gone? 8 months. And this guy look like he haven't even missed a step. This guy look good. Really good. So yeah, Death Triangle is back. And it looks like it's going to be a 6-man tag. It's going to be the Butcher, the Blade, and Eddie Kingston versus the Lucha Bros. And Pac, the Death Triangle. That's going to be later on. And then right after this, we had Brandi. We had Brandi Rhodes. She gets attacked by Jade Cargill from last week. Not the attack didn't happen last week. The attack happened last night. But yeah, Jade Cargill is the one that showed up last week. So yeah, she attacks Brandi Rhodes by stomping her arm into a chair. And Nyla Rose, we had Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero with Jade Cargill. So yeah, that was the end of it. Nothing else happened. She attacked Brandi Rhodes, and that was it. Now after this we had the NWA Women's Championship match, which I thought was a great match. I loved it. This was nothing more than a mat wrestling clinic. They were countering each other. It was hold for hold, counter for counter, back and forth, strike after strike. So yeah, it was the NWA Women's Championship match. It was Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb, the NWA Women's Champion. So we started off this match first. We had a face-to-face stare down between these two women. And we had a collar and elbow. And went into the corner. We had a waist lock. We had waist lock after waist lock, and they were countering. We had a Fujiwara armbar to Deeb. We had an arm drag to Deeb. We had a body slam to Deeb. And we had a running senton to Serena Deeb. She kicks out at 2. We had a dragon screw to Thunder Rosa from the apron. We had at one point a gory special to Rosa on the ropes. We had a European uppercut to Rosa. We had a corner clothesline to Deeb over and over again. We had a drop kick to Serena Deeb. We had a butterfly suplex to Serena Deeb. She kicks out at 2. We had a middle rope neck breaker to Thunder Rosa. And we had a spear. We had a spear to Thunder Rosa from the apron onto the apron. And Rosa, she fights back. She fights back with kicks to Deeb. She gives Serena Deeb a German suplex. And she gives her a missile drop kick. And right after Rosa gives Serena Deeb a missile drop kick, we had Reba. Reba comes out and she distracts the referee. And we had Britt Baker. From behind. She gives Thunder Rosa a swinging neck breaker on a ramp, on a stage ramp behind the referee's back, and brought her back into the ring. And Serena Deeb gives a powerbomb to Thunder Rosa, and she kicks out. And I understood that. I did not understand that. Why did she kick out of that? After going through all that, she kicked out of that. So yeah, I understand that right there. And we had a jackknife cover to Deeb, I believe it was. And we had a stomp. To Deeb's chest. We had roll up after roll up. They were trading roll ups, and it was roll up after roll up, counter after counter, and then we had a front slam. To Thunder Rosa for the win. So Serena Deeb wins, and is still the NWA Women's Champion. And right after the match, we had Thunder Rosa. She attacks Britt Baker, who was sitting in the crowd. I didn't understand that either. Like, you just got finished attacking her. You just got finished attacking Thunder Rosa, and you gonna sit in the crowd? Like, I thought she was in the back. I thought she was in the locker room, but she sat in the crowd. That looks stupid. Like, you just got finished. You just got finished committing a crime, and you're gonna sit in the crowd. You're gonna sit in the crowd like everybody else. Like, dude, get the hell out of there. And so yeah, she got attacked, and referees were breaking it up, and that was it. That was the end of it. And right after this, we had, oh yeah, another thing. So yeah, the NWA. It feel like AEW is, they're including the NWA women's division more than the AEW's women's division, and I I don't know. Like, I guess because they're better. The NWA women's division is better than AEW women's division. They don't have no competition, so they have to bring more women in. And so yeah, they just need to continue. They need to continue to bring more women in. That's all they got to do. That's all they have to do. Just bring more women in, and this division will be better off. But overall, man, this is a great match. A great match between these two. And it's great to see Thunder Rosa back, by the way. So yeah, that was the end of this match. And we had, right after this, we had John Silver and Anna Jay. Or in the back, they were talking. And we had Silver. Silver, he speaks to Anna Jay, and he says, "Before the Dark Order found you, you were a rookie. Not anymore. You are the Queen Slayer. You won your last 4 matches, and you are ranked in the top 5. That's why Mr. Brody Lee demanded to Tony Khan that you get an AEW Women's Championship match against Hikaru Shida next week." And then Anna Jay, she says, she did the last time we've wrestled, you took advantage of a rookie. Next week, allow me to reintroduce myself, the new Anna Jay, number 99. And then Silver says, prepare yourselves because Anna Jay is bringing gold back to the Dark Order. So next week we have Hikaru Shida versus Anna Jay for the AEW Women's Championship match. Man, he went from Nyla Rose to Anna Jay. Not saying that Anna Jay is bad or anything, but they need to do a better job with the AEW Women's Division. They do, man. They need to get Shida. They need to feature Shida more, man. Shida's the champion. They featuring the NWA Women's Division more than they're, including Hikaru Shida. This is what needs to happen. We need Hikaru Shida attacking the NWA Women's Champion, saying, "This is my show. This is my show." And I don't appreciate you guys showing up here and taking spotlight from me. That's what needs to happen. But it's not happening. And so right after this, we had a vignette from Darby Allin. He was standing on top of a building with the TNT Championship, holding it up. And then he rides his skateboard into a building. It looks like a sanctuary. And he sets himself on fire. And so that was it. So the main event, we had Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage versus Darby Allin, the TNT champion, and Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson in his corner. And and Taz is on commentary. So between them, to start the match, we had a hold for hold between Darby Allin and Ricky Starks, so they were going back and forth. They traded slaps, so they were slapping each other. We had a hip toss. We had Brian Cage and Cody Rhodes in the ring. And we had Brian Cage deliver a hip toss turned into a backbreaker to Cody Rhodes. And we had a drop kick to Brian Cage. And we had a moonsault press to Brian Cage from Cody Rhodes. And Taz, while he's on commentary, he leaves commentary. And he leaves commentary to go to ringside to watch his boys. And we had a disaster kick to Brian Cage. And at one point, Taz, he gets involved in the match. He grabs Cody by the legs. And Arn Anderson, during a commercial break, he was ejected from ringside because he got upset about what happened with Taz and Cody Rhodes. So he threw a chair. He threw a chair in the ring. He went to the timekeeper's area and he got a chair and he just threw the chair He threw the chair into the ring. Referee saw it, and referee ejected Arn Anderson from ringside. And right after this, we had a power bomb to Cody Rhodes from Brian Cage on the outside of the ring. So he drops this guy with a power bomb on the outside of the ring. And we had a back suplex to Cody Rhodes. Rhodes kicks out at 2. We had a jumping knee to Cody Rhodes from Brian Cage. We had a German suplex to Cody Rhodes. Cody kicks out. We had a jackknife cover to Ricky Starks from Darby, I believe. Yeah, from Darby. We had Cage. We had Brian Cage. Well, first we had Ricky Starks and Darby Allin there in that corner. And Darby, he tries to give Ricky Starks a German suplex from the middle. Not from the middle, from the corner. Turnbuckle. And then Cage, he comes out of nowhere and just grabs Darby, who was holding on to Ricky Starks in a German suplex position. So he German suplexed both Darby Allin and Ricky Starks. So Brian Cage actually took out his own partner. And we had a spear. We had a spear to Cody Rhodes from Ricky Starks. We had a powerbomb attempt from Brian Cage to Darby Allin. Darby Allin turns it into a sunset powerbomb for a damn near fall. That was close. Really, really close. He almost had him. And we had a crossroads to Ricky Starks. And we had Brian Cage deliver a discus clothesline. He tried to hit Cody. Cody moved out of the way. And he hits the discus clothesline on Darby Allin. And right after this, we had an avalanche. We had an avalanche drill claw to Darby Allin to win. So Brian Cage pins the TNT champion. And yeah, I didn't like the end of the match. You know, if they were gonna lose, why didn't Cody take the pin? Because you shouldn't have your champions lose. He just won the championship. So the best thing you should do is probably make the champion look strong by not having him lose. But yeah, Cody should have took the pin. Cody should have took the pin. If they were gonna lose, Cody should have took the pin. Because Cody could take a loss. Nothing is not gonna happen to Cody if he takes a pin. Nothing. He is bulletproof. So yeah, Cody can take a loss. But it's Darby that can't take a loss because he just won a championship. So yeah, right after the match, we had Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, he attacks Darby Allin, and then we had Cody. Cody comes in and try to help Darby Allin. And we had Cage and Starks. They attack Cody Rhodes, and they both laid him out. And then right after this, we had Will Hobbs. We had Will Hobbs coming out with a chair. So he comes out late again. He comes out with a chair, and he chases out Team Taz. And yeah, and then he gets into the ring and staring down Team Taz, and then he drops the chair. He drops the chair, and then Brian Cage, who had the FTW championship, he dropped it in the ring. So Will Hobbs, he goes over and grabs the championship, the FTW championship, and he holds it up. He holds it up in the air. And then Cody Rhodes from the side, he was getting up. He was trying to get up. Cody Rhodes got up, and Will Hobbs, he just, boom, blasted this guy with the championship. Blasted Cody Rhodes with the FTW championship. And that was it. He blasted him with the championship. And Will Hobbs joins Team Taz. Just like what I said before, Will Hobbs will join Team Taz, and he should join Team Taz. So Will Hobbs is a part of Team Taz. And I knew it. I knew it. It was only a matter of when he was going to join. I knew he was going to join. I was saying, when is he going to join Team Taz? So yeah, this is great for Will Hobbs. Him joining Team Taz is the best career move. And, you know, it'll get his character out there, bring his confidence up, make him a better professional wrestler. Anything that he needs to work on, they will help them with it. They will help Will Hobbs with. So yeah, that was the end of the show. That was the end of the match. I didn't agree with the end of the match. Cody should have took the pin. But I did like the ending. Will Hobbs joining Team Taz. But yeah, that was the end of Dynamite. Overall, this was a good show. Good show. Wasn't a bad show. Wasn't a great show. It wasn't a perfect show. But it was a good show. It was a good show. There were stuff on the show I didn't agree with, but this was still a good show. Still a good show. So yeah, man, that ends off the show. This is the review for AEW Dynamite for November 18th, 2020. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. What are you waiting for? And subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Subscribe to the channel and become an awesome one. And turn on that bell for all notifications. And that way you'll know when my next video will come out. And comment on a video if you agree with me. If you like the show, tell me in the comments. If you didn't like the show, tell me in the comments. If you didn't watch it, tell me down below you didn't watch it. But yeah, and once again, thank you all for the support. Thank you. And yeah, that's it. And now, not Hell in a Cell. Survivor Series is this Sunday. I did not know Survivor Series was this Sunday. So I'm gonna do a review on Survivor Series. It might be on Monday. The review might be out on Monday or Tuesday, but I'll be watching Survivor Series this Sunday, and I'll be reviewing the show for you guys, and I'll have that up either on Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Ryan Awesome Show, ladies and gentlemen, and that's that.